There are some new mortgage rules that are coming into effect today. Joining us now for more on this is mortgage broker Leah Zlatkin, the COO of mortgageoutlet.ca. Leah, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Let's start with what the rules are moving forward that kick in today.
Yeah, absolutely. So as of today, August 1st, the Department of Finance is now allowing homeowners who are purchasing newly built properties and who are first-time home buyers to qualify for up to a 30-year amortization on insured mortgages. So this is a bit of a nuance to the way that things used to work, where these people had a maximum of a 25-year amortization. They can now qualify for a 30-year amortization, meaning their affordability increases a little bit. There are a lot of rules around this, so definitely we can go through some of those, but certainly you should check in with a mortgage broker to understand if you're eligible.
My understanding as part of this new deal, Leah, is that it only applies to new builds as well. So how many first-time home buyers that you work with are actually looking at buying, whether it's a brand new build home, which is upwards of $1 million here in our area, the GTHA, or a new condo, which also isn't cheap when you're buying brand new?
So many first-time homebuyers actually do benefit from buying something that's pre-built. And the reason for that is that they can put down a down payment or a deposit right now, and they still have a little bit of time before they actually move in. So it allows for them some time to save up in the meantime while they're waiting for that condo to be completed. So for a lot of these homeowners, it might be the right choice. You know, certainly there aren't a lot of properties under the $1 million mark, but the properties that we're looking at where you're going to get a 30-year amortization are going to have a loan to value of between 80.01 and 95%. So these are insured mortgages, meaning that you're putting a little bit less down to start with.
I'm curious, Leah, how do you think, or do you think this is going to move the needle when it comes to allowing first-time homebuyers specifically to actually get into the housing market? Will this help them?
It certainly will help with affordability. I mean, the longer your amortization, the lower the monthly payments are, and therefore you can qualify for a little bit more mortgage, meaning you're going to qualify for a larger loan. If you're already putting, between, 15 or 5 and 20% down, this is a really great option for you.
When it comes to affordability, obviously interest rates, we've had 2 decreases as of late from the Bank of Canada, but they're still quite a bit higher than they were, let's say, during the COVID-19 pandemic. Do you think that maybe addressing the stress test would be a good way for the federal government to try to help these first-time home buyers actually get in? Because they can afford to pay $3,000 rent in Toronto and are doing it, but yet the government won't give them a loan for a mortgage.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big subject of debate. So in terms of the stress test really did benefit us in the last few years when variable rate mortgages have gone up substantially. Thank goodness for the stress test. A lot of people were stress tested at a much higher amount than they actually qualified for on their original rate, and their mortgages went up. So a lot of people were saved by the stress test. So I think it has helped us in the past. In terms of the stress test moving forward, there is a lot of debate around whether fixed rate mortgages should have to qualify under the stress test or whether fixed rate mortgages should just have to qualify at the rate that they're at. In terms of my opinion on that, I think the stress test has helped us a lot in the past. With fixed rate mortgages, I do understand the argument to not stress test people. But for variable rate mortgages, I certainly believe there should be a stress test.
Okay, Leah Zlatkin, the COO of mortgageoutlet.ca. Thank you for your time and your perspective this morning.
Thanks so much for having me.